Hello, welcome to Jcpod. I'm your host, Jaden Chandler Parnell, and man, those Denver Nuggets, baby. We got a new champion in the NBA. We're going to talk some Vegas Golden Knights at the end, and then right in the middle, we got some NFL talk. Without any further ado, you know how we like to do it. We're going to go right into it, hop right in, don't delay any time. No delays today. Shout out the Denver Nuggets, man. Win the first championship, have a dominant playoff run. I mean, it's truly, truly impressive. Man, that was honestly a really awesome game to watch. Man, I thought he had a chance to steal at the end, just couldn't get it done. But honestly, this is going to be about the Denver Nuggets. I'm going to talk real quickly about the Heat. I want to talk maybe 1 or 2 minutes first about the Heat and what I saw for them. And then I'm going to spend the rest of this NBA time talking about the Nuggets. Because the Nuggets did something truly, truly special. And it can't be denied. And I just want to get the Heat stuff out of the way as a fan. And as a fan of my team. Get that stuff out of the way so I can just talk about how the greatness truly that was Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets, because wow, I mean like I said, I want to talk about the Heat real quick. I thought, shout out to the Heat, man. Obviously they didn't get it done. Very, very heartbreaking as a fan, because now with the 2020 season and they basically did the same thing twice. They get to the finals and then they just sputter out. The Heat, after going up 3-0 on the Celtics, The more I watch that game now, the more I realize, like, man, they could have really used an extra game or two of rest, because I'm not going to say they were completely tired, but obviously just playing as hard as they did all season, that definitely adds up to you and everything. And it got to the point, they lost, like I said, they won 2 of their last 9, lost 7 of their last 9. And I mean, basically they just fell apart. I think going into the future, this seems really going to be Dame watch. That's a lot of the news out there, obviously, but I think the Heat, they need one more scorer on offense, because, I mean, holy hell, do they go into droughts. I think it's basically what kind of killed them this year, like, the kind of the Tyler Hero effect everyone talks about, how, like, oh, Tyler Hero going out. Duncan Robinson, Gabe Vincent, Max Strus will do more. Yes, I agree. It was awesome to see those guys do more, but we then got to the finals, and all of a sudden there was no offense to be found anywhere, and we could have really used some offense bad. That's just by we I mean obviously the Heat, but that's just something I feel like, because I just literally told Rowan like 5-10 minutes ago as of me like starting this recording. I truly think the Heat could have won that series after the way they took Game 2. Like, they truly had. I mean, yes, they had to play almost perfect in Game 2 to take it, but truly I think he had a chance to take it. Especially that last game, the Nuggets were begging them to come back into the game and everything. But I just think it's one of those things where the Heat just didn't have enough talent. I think the Nuggets were definitely the way more talented team, and they proved it. I mean, truly, they proved that they were the more talented team. They came out on top. They weren't as deep, maybe, because they definitely started shortening their bench a little bit more. But, I mean, they just overall had more talent than that. And I just think going into the offseason, man, like I said, as a fan, you saw the tickets up there and everything. I definitely was going to make more off the Heat than I did the Nuggets. Happy the Nuggets won, though. As a bettor, I had the bet placed. I lied to all you. I've had it placed since January 2nd. I didn't realize it was that soon, but yeah, I've had this bet placed since January 2nd. So I was on the Nuggets the whole time, but man, I really wanted my team to win. But like I said, some finishing thoughts. For the Heat, I'm excited to see what happens, because, I mean, like I said, they've almost been in the finals 3 of the last 4 years. They've been 2 of the last 4. And it's just like kind of what happens, because I feel like Jimmy, I've been saying this and I don't believe it all the way true, but I think this is one of his best chances to get a ring now. And I just don't know what the Heat do. Maybe they add someone like Dame, or they need a scorer bad. I think they need another big to back up Bam, and they need maybe another big to play at the 4, so they don't have to play that small all the time. I'd love for them to keep Kevin Love, since they're going to lose OG. Since, for those of you who don't know, Udonis Haslem is retiring after the end of the season. That's another thing that I think is going to be a huge, huge loss for them. I know there's a lot of people come out there, it's like, oh, he plays no minutes. How good is the true veteran leadership? They have Kyle Lowry there. They have Kevin Love. They have veteran leadership. Yes, they do have veteran leadership right there, but they don't have the veteran leadership of a guy who's been on that team for 20 years, knows what to expect. I mean, you can't put into words how important that stuff is. But yeah, I think the Heat are going to need one more big, like just a big to help out Bam, so they don't, as much as I love Cody Zeller, they need a little bit more depth down there. They need another big, and they need a scoring wing so bad. My boy Rowan's a Devin Booker type. That'd probably be a good one. I said Damian Lillard, because that's what's been rumored to the Heat. And the last point I'm going to end with, as much as I love this Heat team, I just don't see how they're going to keep all their guys. So I think between Strus, Lowry, Vincent, Martin, Strus, Lowry, Vincent, Martin, and then even if you want to throw in Love in there, maybe Love. But I would say the first five that I said, I think two of them are going to be gone. Duncan Robinson's in there too. Tyler Hero's in there too. I forgot to mention them. Yeah, Duncan Hero, Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, Kyle Lowry, Caleb Martin. Maybe Kevin Love, maybe not Kevin Love. But between those 6 to 7 guys, like, 2 of them aren't going to return for sure. I could definitely see, like, Caleb Martin getting some money somewhere. I could see Gabe Vincent maybe getting a little bit of money, but after the way he played in the finals, he might not get the biggest bag. Terrible Strus. Kind of same thing. He played kind of bad, but he started to make up for it a little bit. Duncan Robinson, I think is... If I'm being honest, I could see Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero. I think those are my two favorite. Like, if I was to put odds on as an odds maker, I would put, like... I would definitely put... The lowest totals probably on Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero. I would not be shocked if the Heat tried to trade Tyler Hero because there's a lot of stuff how their offense opened up without him and everything. And I just think as much as they love him, I think they want a little bit more defensive from him. Maybe I could be totally wrong though, but yeah, like I said, it's one of those things. I just don't see how the Heat are gonna be able to keep all of them, and it's just like I said, very happy for them. They got so close. It's just as a fan, this hurts so bad because like I just don't know when we're gonna see it again because it feels like. It's one of those things where it's like you hit your head on the wall too much, and it's like, when will it stop? I was really hoping this would be the time they came through. But I mean, but like I said, now it's time to talk about Denver. Denver absolutely dominant run to the playoffs. 4-1, I think 4-2, 4-0, 4-1. Losing 4 games across the way. There's only been 2 years in the last 15 years to do that, and that was the 2017, or not, sorry. Maybe 2017. It was the first or second year that KD joined the Warriors when they won the ring. It was that team, and then it was this team. In the past 15 years, that's it. And then obviously there's the teams like the Lakers back in, I think, like 90, I forget, like 99, 2000, 2001, like somewhere in that range. There was that Lakers team. I think there was a Jordan team that did it. There was the 86 Celtics, I think. But it seems like that. This Nuggets team was in historic territory. And I know, like I said, about all the stuff I just said about the Heat and everything, and how sad I was. But, man, flip on its head for the Nuggets. It just makes me think that this was brought up on a podcast before. Just if Jokic didn't sit that last month to kind of rest and recover, man, he should have won the MVP. Obviously, now that looking back at that, man, this is gonna be. I can't wait to look back at history at this. This is definitely something where people are gonna be like, "Ew, we probably shouldn't have gave it to Joel Embiid." Because the biggest thing with everyone is like, "Oh, does somebody who's never won an NBA championship deserve a third ring?" Like, yes, he deserves it if he was that good. And looking back, Jokic maybe giving up the last month kind of did it to himself. So at the end of the day, it's not all in the voters. But, man, bro. You want to shout out to the finals MVP, Nikola Jokic. Shout out to the finals winners, Denver Nuggets. I mean, seriously. You want to talk about a well-rounded team. This could be the start of the run of a dynasty. I mean, I think they're going to keep majority of the guys. They're only going to get a little bit better with some of the draft picks. They just made a really good trade that they're going to be able to add more depth this year at, like, decently high round. But I know the draft isn't the best this year for the NBA, but they have a shot to do something magical in the draft because simply for the fact they probably should have got the last pick in the draft. And they already traded it, and I think this year they get somewhere in the middle. Next year they get somewhere in the middle. I mean, I'm impressed with what they did. They truly did something that was... And now I'm not talking about the trade. I'm talking about the championship. The championship, that was first one in their history. For those of you who got to watch it, it's really awesome. I mean, it's just, I mean, I can't even put into words how cool it is to experience stuff like this because truly as, like, a sports fan itself, like, don't get me wrong. I love the Miami Heat. I was heartbroken when they lost and everything, but at the end of the day, I'm a sports fan. Like, my feelings, like, I'm already, like, I hate to say it, like, I already had money on the Nuggets. Like, last night, maybe 20, 30 minutes as a fan, I'm like, man, that really hurt. We were so close. Like, what happened? Why couldn't we do it? Like, that really hurt. And then I got over it because, like I said, I won money on the Nuggets, and I realized, like, I got to witness something that, like, this is something that nobody's ever going to get to witness again and everything. Like, Cleveland, like, for example, when LeBron brought the first title to Cleveland after coming back from 3-1, that's something I will never, ever forget in my lifetime. It's like, I just witnessed this franchise win its first title ever. And now, it's like the same thing with the Nuggets. I got to except for the only difference between the Cavs series back then and now is, like, I got to bet alongside it. Like, I'm not going to say numbers, but the Miami Heat made me a lot of money this playoff run. I mean, a lot. With like, they were plus 9, plus 300 every single game, and until they ran into basically the Celtics after game 3, and then they ran into the Nuggets. They were cash cows. Easiest way to put it. Cash cows. And then the same with the Nuggets. Like, the Nuggets made me a good amount of money, too, just because of how... I just can't get over how well they played. If you look now, looking back at the playoff set series, that they were even money going into the Suns series. I think I still kind of forget that myself. And Devin Booker and Durant took 2 games. I mean, they played Kevin Durant and Devin Booker literally carried the Phoenix Suns, basically, and were able to get 2 games off them, and then that was it. And then by the time the last 2 games hit in the series, Devin Booker and Kevin Durant were toast. I mean, the more and more I think about it, man, this was a really special title for the Nuggets. We could potentially see them, like I said, I don't know if they'll be a dynasty, for sure, but I think we definitely see it because they got the buildings towards it. If they're able to keep a lot of their depth and everything, I don't see why they don't at least have a chance to maybe go back-to-back minimum, but I think this is their West to win now. I think they control the West, everything. And it's not, obviously, it's just because they won the title, but even with the regular season, like the way the regular season ended, it's like, oh, it's starting to run through Denver a little bit. And they talked about it a little bit on the broadcast last night and everything. Jamal Murray getting injured last year. This could have been their second title. We could have watched back-to-back titles potentially because this team, I mean, that dwindles Bruce Brown and everything, but I think they, like I said, Bruce Brown, Christian Brown, KCP, like those guys this year had incredible plays. Like, I mean, if you think about it, Christian Brown had game 2? Game 2 or game 3, it was the Christian Brown game. Might have been game 3 because he won game 2. I think it was one of those. There was a Christian Brown game where he had 13. I can't remember. It could have even been game 1. It's been so long how the all games are going together. They had a Christian Brown game. They had a Bruce Brown game. And then KCP last night. Biggest steal, biggest free throws of his career. And now he's the only Nugget who won a ring. And he came up with the biggest play to help win the finals last night. Off the Jimmy Tough turnover. And then he made the 2 free throws to clutch it. Yeah, overall, man, I am just so impressed with the Nuggets. I think they had a really awesome season. And, yeah, it's just, now they're NBA champions. Like I said, we got to witness something for the first time in history. That is something that is truly awesome. Shout out to Jokic. Shout out to the Nuggets, man. I mean, that scene was so awesome, man. You saw Mike Malone getting thrown up by Nikola Jokic's brothers. I mean... Man, there's like truly chills, honestly, for just how, especially too, like, man, I would, this is something that's like kind of off topic, not really, but during my football career, I dealt with like shoulder issues bad, so it got to the point like my senior year of high school, it was popping in and out, I was having to pop back in my place. Freshman year of college, I got redshirted because I just wasn't mentally or physically ready for college football. I guess I just didn't understand like what you needed to do to prepare yourself fully after that. And then by my sophomore year, I did and everything. But tore my labrum my sophomore year, and then legit just missed the whole season. That was one of the better years that my college had, and it sucked. It sucked being hurt. It sucked just sitting out and doing anything. And Ray Lake is back. Jamal Murray, man. To get hurt in the playoffs, sit out a whole year, and come back from an injury, man, and be able to win. I mean, that truly almost brought tears to my eyes. Just because coming from a guy who, I mean, I tore my labrum in my shoulder. That's 6 months. That's not a 18-month ACL tear where you get, like, it was a little bit different, obviously, and everything, and then different sports, obviously, and all that. But just truly, just, man, awesome, because it's just, I think the best part about that is even when the Heat losing and all that part sucked. Like, you get to see all the hard work people put in, like. They put in, you can tell how much hard work the Nuggets put in, because the second over, like, the crying, the happiness, the joy. I mean, that's what we live for in sports, honestly. It's just that moment right there to get to see. I mean, it's like the March Madness. You see the kids sad and everything, because that's how it go. One team has to lose, another team has to win, and, man, just truly, like I said, awesome to watch what the Nuggets did. I thought the Joker played a really good game last night, even with all the foul trouble and all the kind of, like, ref ball that went on yesterday. Which, man, congrats to the Denver Nuggets. Really hard-fought win. And, I mean, they dominated the playoffs. They deserve to win that title, and But, yeah, like I said, congrats to the Denver Nuggets. That's probably where I'll end the NBA talk and everything. Honestly, when it comes to NBA now, obviously since it's over and everything, you probably won't... we might not talk again until playoffs. like I said, I'll probably touch on some NBA here and there if there's like big free agent news and signings. But past that, now the NBA season's over. We're gonna go heavy, I think, into the football. Just a quick before I start my NFL news. There's the NHL game tonight. Golden Knights, Florida Panthers. I'm on the Golden Knights. Golden Knights back home. They're up 3-1, trying to close out and win their first title ever. That'd be really cool to see. So I'm gonna be on the Knights tonight. I hope they can get the job done. But yeah, that's gonna be something really cool. We can have two franchises that win their first title ever this year. And I mean, hey, we saw it last night. Why not see it tonight? But yeah, like I said, when it comes to the NBA, I'll touch on the big news, but overall, it's probably going to be going back to now. This is like officially the way I view it is my sports calendar starts with football, ends with NBA basketball, and then the off season's baseball. Like, don't get me wrong, I love baseball and everything, but I guess that's mainly the thing. Like, the NBA regular season is just so trashy right now because the players don't care about it. It seems like so. Like, I don't want to talk about it too much during the regular season. And like I said, since it's the off season now, we're gonna go back to the NFL stories on Thursdays. Might not do it this Thursday? Question mark. We'll see. I might be able to find something, but yeah, basically starting next week, we're gonna do our stories and everything. And basically, I think in about a week or two, I'm gonna start my division breakdowns for the NFL, which is this is gonna lead us into the NFL news. I think it's time for me to basically start my NFL division breakdowns. I'm gonna go through this week. This week and next week. Plan them all out and everything, and then yeah, within hopefully 2 weeks from now, you'll be getting my breakdowns of how I view the NFL. It's how I view the NFL, how I view the conferences, who I think is going to do this, and all that. And then my power rankings list. Instead of like last year though, where I did it each team by each team, I'll probably break it down to divisions. If it takes too long, I'll do like 2 teams each video. But I'm probably going to plan to do a whole division because I don't need to do 5-minute videos again like last year. Last year was just more of like me getting used to everything. Now I'm kind of used to it. I'll try to do whole divisions in each video so that way there's a lot of content. But yeah, that'll basically be what's going to be coming up here in the next 2 weeks. But before we get there, we have NFL news to talk about today. DeAndre Hopkins, before we start, visited with the Patriots, I believe, today? Or he already did. But he already visited with the Titans for sure. He visited with the Patriots, I think today, but we'll see. I think he's more likely to go to the Patriots than the Titans, but I mean, maybe he goes to the Titans. Maybe he sees something there that us as the fans don't. Because I mean, to be fair, if you think about the Titans team, when they had AJ Brown, I mean, don't get me wrong. I get the AFC South is kind of butt cheeks, but they were running the division, and I mean, they had control, and they were really, really good. So I mean, we'll just have to see. Because truly, I don't know. My lean is there's Eagles and Ravens rumored. I honestly think he'll probably end up at the Ravens if I had to guess. Ravens or Chiefs would probably be my guess. I could see him going to the Chiefs for a cheap contract, but honestly, I could see him going to the Ravens to play with Lamar, because originally Lamar wanted Odell and D-Hop. So I mean, if D-Hop's willing to sign, for a cheaper deal, then hey, why not? Yeah, Giants Saquon Barkley would consider sitting out the rest of the season over this contract dispute. I don't think it's going to get to that point. He basically came out in an interview yesterday, or talking to reporters yesterday, and he was like, I don't know why we do the contract this early. We have until June or July. I forget what the exact date is. All right, here we go. He said, I think it's in the conversation, Barkley said. Like you said, that's a card I could play. That comes in the conversation if something don't get done by July 17th. That was his grammar, not mine. No, I'm just kidding. But in all honesty, I think that they're going to get a deal done before this. I don't know. I mean, I don't get why they just don't sign like a 2-year, like $20-30 million deal, something like, or like a 30-40. I'm assuming that's what. I know the running back market's terrible for prices, but I just don't get why. There's like guys like Christian McCaffrey catches the ball out of that backfield, also runs the ball, gets a lot of money. Alvin Kamara goes to the ball out of the backfield, gets a lot of money. I mean, Saquon does that too. I don't know why they just don't pay him. He had a really good season, and did that Daniel Jones in his best season ever. So, I mean, I think they should pay him, honestly. The longer this goes, I think it's the worse for them, because I know he's been hurt, but that's a talent you really don't want to lose. Vikings, Danielle Hunter's going to hold out a mandatory minicamp. I think it's because they're fielding trade calls for him, so they just doesn't want to show up to make it weird for him and everything. So we'll see if he actually ends up doing this or not. or if he actually ends up getting traded. I think they probably will because I think they didn't. I think it's a money issue. That's the biggest thing. So if they try to do that, I think they're gonna try to clear some space. Lions Gibbs says NFL practices are easier than Saban's. Saban, we're probably hitting every day, full pads in the heat for 2 hours. Here we get to working, but they don't try to kill us. He did. Yeah, I just don't. There's a lot of people. I just read the comments real quick. There's a lot of people talking about like, yeah. But sorry, I just want to read some of those comments real quick. There's a lot of people like, of course it's the Lions. They aren't hitting every day. Blah blah. I think first off, it's an NFL thing. I don't think there's a few NFL teams that do it, but I think a lot of NFL teams are hitting a lot less, especially then at the college level. I just know like personally, like for me, when our practice at the colleges. The difference between them, just even in my freshman year versus like my senior year, when it came to like this whole player safety thing, yeah, it's definitely different. It's one of those things. Like it's just the college. I think especially at Alabama, like like in college they're training you for a lot more than just football. Obviously, I think they're training you partially for life and everything as well. But I think people are making a whole lot of nothing out of that kind of. I just think that. Yeah, I just think that Saban, and especially this is mainly in the comment section. I have no issue. I mean, there's nothing wrong with hitting a little bit, especially in college. Like there's going to be a difference between college and NFL. College, you're trying to like win the national championship. You have to go perfect. You only get one chance at it, and like I hate to say it, the coaches care a little less. It's not like being a meme. There's obviously coaches out there. Like my college football coach was an awesome dude, cared a lot, but they're a little. I mean, maybe that might not be true, because I guess in the NFL, they're just as focused on winning, and instead you're getting paid millions versus just scholarships. So I guess that point's not very valid, but regardless, I just, like, the people in the comments are saying, like, it's the Lions, what do you expect? There's a lot of the NFL that's doing this, so I just don't. Him coming out and saying that, though, I just find it interesting. Like, I mean, it's not shocking, but it's just like, oh, okay. I guess that's the best way to put it. Jaguars, Josh Allen attends mandatory minicamp, but I guess it's good. It's mandatory, and I guess it's just more. This is more like the. He doesn't. I don't think have a deal coming this year, so I guess that makes kind of sense. But I think that he would be a good grow for the Jaguars. If those you don't remember, he was a first-round pick. I think wasn't he? Like a few years ago. I think he was the first-round pick before. He was either the first-round pick before or after Trevor Lawrence, and getting him to go as well would be really good because I mean he's shown flashes here and there of being like a really, 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 really good player. And I would just love to see. Yeah, I'd love to see what the next step he takes next year. But yeah, on the same side, like Patriots guy, not mandatory minicamp due to contract situation. So most of these I'm going to read out are like 99% contract situations. Why they don't show up to mandatory minicamp. Panthers, Sanders eager to move past better end towards Eagles' tenure. I don't. Oh. He was mad. I was just confused. I'm like, what does he move past? He's mad about the carries he got in the Super Bowl. He said, last game of the season, for all the marbles, everyone can answer that question, Sanders said during OTAs. If they put themselves in my shoes, would they be happy? I don't want to make headlines, but if it does, I don't care. I could get into that another day. Maybe he said, maybe you should ask them why I'm moving here. So basically, from what it makes it sound like, he signed a 4-year, $25 million contract this offseason. And I mean, the way he makes it sound is he literally left the Eagles because in the biggest game of the year, they decided not to give him carries. And I'm sure there's a little bit more than that. I'm sure he wanted to be a feature back by himself somewhere and all that, as most running backs usually do. But yeah, I think it's one of those things where it makes it sound like legit after he got no 70. I bet it was one of those things where he was debating it. Like, I wouldn't mind if I left, but yeah, after the what do you call it? After the Super Bowl, basically, where he didn't get as many carries as I think he would have liked, he's basically like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm out of here. So that's interesting. Very, very interesting, because that gives us kind of like a reason, I guess, why. Now we kind of know why. Calvin Johnson is ready to help the Lions. Jamison Williams. That's really awesome that first off, it's awesome that Calvin Johnson's back around the Lions after everything they did to him. So that's the main reason I read it. It's very awesome to see that he's going to get a chance to help out. Kendrick Bourne, I didn't give my Patriots my best effort last year. I just wanted to read that because I feel like that's... I mean, like, I don't know. First off, I don't know why he's coming out and saying that. I feel like he's doing that to defend somebody, but... I mean, Matt Patricia was the offensive coordinator for the Patriots, so I wouldn't even put anything behind them last season. Rodgers has been enjoying the time, but the Jets has the most fun I've had in a while. The little mind games they're playing between him and Green Bay. Just this whole, I'm so excited for this whole Aaron Rodgers situation now, just because I'm curious to see how he does in the Jets, because I mean, like, there's a lot more pressure on him now. The Jets have upgraded, I think, basically every position. Have only gotten better from last year, so it's basically on him to like help them get the job done. I'm very interested to see if he can do just that for them. Garrett Bowles said he's ready for the Wilson critics to eat crow this season. Just because a guy has one rough season doesn't dictate the type of guy he is. I was angry with everyone that came out. I take it personally when people talk about him because nobody knows him like I do. When you put your heart on the line and things go wrong, you look like a bad guy. He's not. He's a great dude. He works his butt off. I'm ready for the criticism to go away. And when it does, everyone's going to eat crow. That's basically what Garrett Bowles should... I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Garrett Bowles is 100% right. I definitely think Russell Wilson got a little bit more overhate than he deserved last year. Don't get me wrong. I think he played like absolute shit most of the year. But he had a few moments where, and by the way, he was my fantasy quarterback for most of the year for one of my fantasy leagues. So I went into this for a hand. That dude, after I think like week 2 or 3, that dude literally was basically, I made the joke, he was basically like my locker room glue. That dude sat on my bench probably the whole fantasy year and didn't move. But hey, that fantasy locker room, I tell you what, they're a tight-knit group. Tight-knit group, I tell you what. But no, I just think it's to the point where, yeah, he just played bad last year, but I just think he did get a little bit of overhate for how bad he was. And I think it's just because of the little extra stuff that he was doing, like the high knees on the plane, the wearing his own jersey to the first training camp that no one's apparently ever done before. Just stuff like that. Like, he made it a little bit extra so they weren't winning, so he got dragged. But something I want to bring up, Garrett Bowles. Somebody in the comments said something that was really funny. They're like, hey, you should worry about your critics. Yeah, he's not. I don't want to say I'm not going to call people out for their positions and everything, because obviously I'm a sports podcaster and I only made it to college football. This guy's playing in the NFL. But Garrett Bowles hasn't been the best left tackle in the NFL. I don't think that's me pulling any strings. I'm not talking trash to him. He's playing in the NFL. He's an NFL tackle that gets paid millions, but he hasn't been the best. I'd like to see him do a little bit better. But him coming out and defending his guy, that's what you love to see from the linemen. That's the biggest thing from this. You just love to see the guys coming out and defend him. Because last year we didn't see much of this at all. That's the biggest thing, too. Last year there was not much coming out and defending him. He just kind of got left out to dry and hang. Russell Wilson did, so really awesome they're coming out and willing to defend him now. Chiefs Clark signs a 1-year deal with the Broncos, work up to $7 million. I'm assuming that's a lot of incentives for sacks and everything, but man, the Broncos, I think they filled up that Bradley Chubb hole nicely with Shane Ray and Frank Clark. I think they have somebody else as well I can't think of, but I think they filled up the hole pretty well. Demarcus Robinson is going to join the Rams. I think he played with the Ravens last year. He got 48 catches, 458 yards. I think he was their best receiver last year, oddly enough. Which is funny because he's probably going to be the wide receiver too. I wonder what he's going to be. I actually don't know. He might be the 2 or 3 with the Rams, but he was damn near the 1 for the Ravens last year due to the injuries and everything. So it's just the Panthers hand first team reps to the rookie Bryce Young. Not shocking. He needs to get as many first reps as he can, and I won't be surprised if it happens. If you guys get the starting job, and this is the thing I wanted to talk about that I didn't get a chance to last week because literally this is the last thing I'm going to end on too. Legit, as I get off air, this happens. Dalvin Cook gets released. Shocking. But for those of you who didn't know, the Vikings team, I think I brought it up in the show. I might have not. But at least I know for sure I saw it and it was out there for a while. They had Alexander Madison on the, what do you call it? They had Alexander Madison on like the printout posters and everything in the not bulletin boards, but basically like all the stuff, like the posters and everything they put out for the stadium and for social media, all the banners and everything. They had Alexander Madison on there, and it's just crazy, man, because literally last year, about this time, maybe a few weeks from now, the Vikings came out and said, hey, we're looking to move Alexander Madison. There's like 12 teams interested in getting him. Like, the Vikings were almost willing to trade him, but they just didn't. They went into the season. And then now this year, they're just like, we ain't going to deal with the trade rumors. Alexander Madison's our guy. See ya, Dalvin. Dalvin Cook, rumors are like Miami. I think I want to say somebody said the Eagles, but like I don't think that's necessarily true. Yeah, here we go. Cook figures to have plenty of suitors in the open market, but the Dolphins and Broncos appear the most interested. Broncos would be a good move, especially with Javonte Williams still hurting out. That would definitely be... Because I don't think they have much depth. I'll have to go... When I go over their team, I'll have to double-check that and everything. But yeah, I don't think they still have much depth. With him, I'm just shocked the Vikings released him, especially when he's a little bit younger, but apparently 27 is the new 35 in the NFL, especially with the running back position. They'd rather just sign the... Man, I just see them... It's almost like... I view this as the Tampa Bay Rays with the way the Rays use pitchers, where they're just like... Because there's a... I don't know... For those of you who don't know, there's a little rumor going out there that... And by rumor, I mean... It's been talked about a little bit, how the Rays... Like, when you go to the Rays, you know you're going to get hurt and end up at the IL at some point because of how hard you're pitching and all the pitching you're doing. But you're going there to be like, hey, it's going to be a committee. They're going to need me. I'm ready to do my part. That's what I kind of wonder if, like, it's just happening right now. Like, I mean... With the running back, basically, where it's like, we could pay, like, for example, baseball-wise, Jcpod058. We could pay that guy, or we could pay, like, a big name guy, like Dalvin Cook, a lot of money. Or we could sign, like, Dante Foreman to a 2-year deal. Sign, let's see, just Tariq Cohen to a 4-year deal. I know he's not playing, but I just think of names. And we could sign James Cook to a 4-year deal. And then look at that. You paid... $8 million at 1 year for 3 running backs, and all 3 of them together can get you 1,000 yards. I think there's a lot more teams, NFL teams, going with the by committee running back versus the really stud running back, which just weird. It's a different time in the NFL, obviously, I get, but personally for me, like, I'm a guy who I love building in the trenches. So offensive line, defensive line. The next thing I'm getting is I want a good running back. I want a running back that's able to give me 2 or 3 carries, that can catch passes if need be, but just basically my running back can get 2 or 3 carries that can give me like 2 or 3 carries to get a first down. Like, I want a good... If I'm building a team, I want a good running back there. Like, for example, like the Colts, Jonathan Taylor. I love how they have him. He's a stud. Christian McCaffrey. Like, I would love to build... Like, I know they're big names and it'll probably cost a lot of money, but, like, especially with how young they are, like, I would love a running back to start, but it's just not how the NFL is anymore. They want wide receivers. They want to spread it out and everything. So, which I get, but yeah, this running back market is just insane how depleted and diluted it is, like, money-wise. They deserve so much more for what they go through, but, yeah. That's probably where I end it today. Like I said, this Thursday we might have an NFL story. I might, honestly, because there's some stuff, like I said, there's stuff I do want to talk about. I just don't know if I'm going to start it this week or next week, but, like I said, for sure going to have an NFL story this week or next week, just talking about something I think is for the upcoming season, and then, along with that, like I said, I might do division breakdowns within the next week or 2, but we'll have to see. I want to get everything planned out first. Like I said, I want rosters to kind of... I think July 17th. I think about then is when I'll start it. Maybe like around July, maybe the second week of July. Just July 17th is another day when they have to sign a lot of people. It's just, I don't want to talk about a team and then all of a sudden, excuse me, the team loses like 2 or 3 of the key guys I just talked about. Like, for example, James Robinson just got released from the Patriots. If I broke down the Patriots, I'm like what they're going to be able to do with James Robinson this year, replacing James White, and I know James... I can't think of the dude's name who was their running back last year, but the Patriots running back last year, like, if I talk like that and then dude gets released 2 days ago, it just feels so stupid. So I'm going to wait just hopefully a little bit longer, wait for the teams to finalize, and then, yeah. Huge breakdowns with that. It's just, man, I'm excited because we got about 86, 85 days to NFL football. NBA is officially over. NHL is going to be finishing tonight, and then it's just baseball the whole rest of the offseason. All right, thanks everybody for watching. I appreciate all the support and everything. I'll see everybody on Thursday. Like I said, it'll be NFL talk for sure. There'll be light MLB talk with for sure some NFL talk. I just don't know if it's going to be a story or if it's going to be us breaking down some big news that happened. Also, before I get off though, shout out the Browns. Browns got a new logo unveiled in the Pat McAfee yesterday. Kind of cool. That was kind of a little cool thing to watch. Interesting logo as well though. But yeah, I think it's just shout out to the Browns new logo and everything. But yeah, thank you everybody for watching. I'll see everybody on Thursday.